Good day, everyone. I am Jeffrey Vasquez, and I will continue the introduction started by Seth Moises. So, um, sa discussion kong ito, i-discuss ko lang yung definition ng bawat report, tsaka yung contents niya. Ang sa ganun ay magkahint tayo ano ba nga ba ang laman ng mga reports. So, yan. Let's start with Republic Act number 544, an act to regulate the practice of civil engineering in the Philippines. So, on Article 1, the title Act and definition of terms. Section 1, the title of Act. This act shall be known as the Civil Engineering Law. Yeah. Section 2, definition of terms. The practice of civil engineering within the meaning and intent of this Act shall embrace the services in the form of consultation, design, preparation of plans, specification, etc. The term civil engineer, as used in this Act, shall mean a person duly registered within the Board of Examiners for Civil Engineers in the manner as hereinafter provided. On Article 2, Board of Examiners for Civil Engineers. So, napapaloob dito yung Section 3 hanggang Section 7. Composition of board, powers and duties of the board, qualifications of board members, fees and compensation of board annual reports. Yeah. Article 3 naman, examination and registration. So, dito, merong Section 8 hanggang Section 22. So, Section 8, examination requirement. Section 9, holding of examination, subjects of examination, qualifications for examination. So, specify ka tong qualifications of examination. Una, dapat 21 years old pataas. And then, citizen of the Philippines. Then, good reputation and good moral. Tapos, dapat at least 4 years kang nag-study ng civil engineering course at saka graduate ka na. Then, oath of civil engineers, seal and use of seal, exemption for registration, refusal to use certificate, suspension and revocation of certificates, reissue and replacement of certificates, transitory provision, enforcement of the act by enforcers of the law, registration required, and the penal provisions. On Article 4, miscellaneous provisions. So, Section 23 hanggang Section 29. So, dito napapaloob ang preparation of plans and supervision of construction by registered civil engineer, professional service, reciprocity requirements, roster of civil engineers, repeal, construction of act, effectivity. And this RE 544 was approved on June 17, 1950. Let's move on to the next topic, the CIAP document 102, or the Uniform General Conditions of Construction for Private Construction. CIAP document 102. So, yan. In line with its mandate to recommend and encourage the adoption of equitable and realistic contract conditions for construction, the Construction Industry Authority of the Philippines, or the CIAP, created a committee to formulate the Uniform General Conditions of Contract for Private Construction, or CIAP document 102. The first edition of CIAP document 102 was published by the CIAP on the 15th of October 1997, and I guess the current version of the CIAP document 102 was on 2004. Yeah. On section 1 of the CIAP document 102 is the definition and documents. So it has 5 articles. So Article 1, definition. 2, execution, correlation, meaning of terms, and intent of documents. 3, drawing and specification. 4, detailed drawings and instruction. 5, shop drawings. So, yan. Section 2, nandito yung laws, regulation, site condition, permits, and taxes. So, may dalawang articles yan. And then, section 3, equipment and materials. So, article 8 hanggang article 13 yan. Then, section 4, premises and temporary structures. May dalawang articles din. Section 5, protection of work and property. May tatlong articles. Section 6, labor, work, and payments. So, yan. May apat na section. Section 7, contractor, separate contractor to subcontractors relationship. So, may tatlong articles. Tapos, section 8, suspension of work and termination of contract. So, yan. May apat na articles. Tapos, section 9, responsibilities and liabilities of contractor and of owner. Yan. Article 30 hanggang Article 33. Section 10, owner's representative. So, yan. Article 34, owner's representative. At saka lastly, Section 11, the schedule of time limits. So, the CIAP document 102 was approved on the 20th of June 2004. Third topic is about the civil engineering professional licensure examination. So, I guess makikita ito dun sa sa Republic Act number 544, section 3. So, yun. The Professional Regulation Commission, or the PRC, through the Republic Act number 544, as amended by RA 1582, is mandated to require all would-be civil engineers to pass a technical examination to obtain the certificate of registration. So, this Republic Act number 544 states that no person shall practice or offer to practice civil engineering in the Philippines without having the proper certificate. So, basically, kung di ka pasado sa board exam, you're not allowed to sign any engineering related na mga plans. So, ayan. And then, this exam is exclusively administered twice a year nationwide, usually in the months of May and November by the Professional Regulation Commission. However, those who are willing to take the test abroad can avail themselves through Special Professional Licensure Examinations, or the SPLE, for overseas Filipino workers. So, yun. Ano nga ba ang requirements sa pag-take ng board exam application? So, yan. Dapat may birth certificate, transcript of records with scanned pictures and remarks, 4 na passport size colored pictures, tapos meter documentary stamp, cedula, valid NBI clearance, 2 certificates of good moral, tapos payment na 900 pesos. So, what are the subjects covered? Mathematics and surveying, 35%. Hydraulics, 30%. Design and construction, 35%. So, ano nga ba ang passing nito? In general, average of 70% with no grades lower than 50% in any given subject must obtain by the candidate to pass the exam. So, yun lang. The fourth topic is about the Presidential Decree number 1096, or the National Building Code of the Philippines. Yan. So, Section 1 is the title of the Chapter 1 General Provisions. This decree shall be known as the National Building Code of the Philippines and shall hereinafter be referred as the Code. Yan. Section 2 is the Declaration of Policy. So, yan. Mataas-taas yan. So, hindi ko na babasahin. And then, Section 3 is the Scope and Application. Section 4 is the General Building Requirements. Section 5 is the Site Requirements. Section 6 is the Definitions. So, Chapter 2 is the Administration and Enforcement. So, marami yung sections na napapaloob. So, di ko na lang babasahin yung section. Chapter na lang babasahin ko. Anyway, content lang din naman ng So, Chapter 3, Permits and Inspection. Tapos, Chapter 4, Types of Construction. Chapter 5, Requirements for Fire Zones. Chapter 6, Fire Resistive Requirements in Construction. Chapter 7, Classification and General Requirements of all building by use of occupancy. Chapter 8, Light and Ventilation. Chapter 9, Sanitation. Chapter 10, Building Projection over Public Streets. Chapter 11, Protection of Pedestrian during Construction or Demolition. Chapter 12, General Design and Construction Requirements. Chapter 13, Electrical and Mechanical Regulations. Chapter 14, Photographic and X-ray Films. Chapter 15, Prefabricated Construction. Chapter 16, Plastics. Chapter 17, Sheet Metal Paint Spray Booths. Chapter 18, Glass and Glazing. Chapter 19, The Use of Computers. Chapter 20, Science. And lastly, Chapter 21, Transitory and Final Provisions. So, here are some facts. The Presidential Decree number 1096 is the revision of the Republic Act number 6541, entitled An Act to Ordain and Institute a National Building Code of the Philippines. And it was ordered and decreed by the late President Ferdinand E. Marcos. So, yan. Then, the last topic is about the extracts from the new Civil Code on obligations and contracts. So, let's first focus on the obligations. On Chapter 1 of the obligations, the general provision. So, in each chapter, there are sections and articles. So, for example, itong Chapter 1, meron siyang articles na 1156 hanggang 1162. So, yan. Chapter 2, the nature and effect of obligations. Chapter 3, different kinds of obligations. So, yan. Sa Chapter 3, meron siyang sections. Tapos, ang sections, meron siyang articles. So, Section 1, pure and condition obligations. Chapter 2, obligations with a period. Chapter 3, alternative obligations. Yan. Chapter 4, extinguishment of obligations. So, yan. Sa contracts naman tayo. So, Chapter 1, general provisions, meron din siyang corresponding na articles bawat chapter. Tapos, Chapter 2, meron siyang sections. Tapos, sa sections, meron siyang articles. So, Chapter 2, essential requisites of contracts. Chapter 3, form of contracts. Chapter 4, reformation of instruments. Chapter 5, interpretation of contract. Chapter 6, rescissible contracts. Chapter 7, voidable contracts. Chapter 8, enforceable contracts. Chapter 9, void or inexistent contracts. So, that's all. Di ko na in-explain yung laman ng report kasi nga i-explain na yan ng mga reporters, and then overview lang yon kung ano nga ba ang laman ng mga reports. So, that's all, and thank you guys. God bless.